I'm Lauren. I'm going to be doing the Gonstead video. We're going to do observation first. So the first thing that we're going to be looking for is any edema, any moles, scars, anything that's going to affect the probe. So the first thing I'm going to do is turn the probe on. We're going to set the sensitivity to medium, and then we're going to adjust the probes to a little narrower for the cervicals, but wide enough that they'll still be touching where they need to. So from the cervicals, we're going to go up. I'm going to make sure that there is a good seal. I'm going to make sure that it's 90 degrees to the skin and that there is a slight depression. So you just go up. If you find anything, any trailing, you're going to go over it 3 times. I'm looking for any breaks. They'll be fairly quickly, and it'll be over and back movements that occur over a short distance, and it'll be over about 1 segment. In the cervicals, since I'm gliding upwards, I'm going to mark below the sensor where the trailing edge is. In the thoracics, we're going to open the probes up, and we'll move down. Same thing will apply. You want a 90-degree angle, slight depression on the skin, and the probes fully contacted, and you want to be along the center of the spine. If you see something, we'll go over it 3 times. And in the thoracics, you mark the trailing edge above the sensor since you're moving down. We're going to continue this all the way down to the bottom of the spine. Okay, so now I'm going to do the static palpation part. So we're going to be palpating on either side of the spine, and we're looking for a boggy feeling. I'm also going to see if there's any pain on pressure and palpation. It's usually going to be at the posterior inferior part of the spinous process. We're going to continue this all the way down the spine. Then when you come to the SI joints, we're going to feel all the way around. If there's any tenderness, if it's above the joint, it could indicate a PI. If it's below the joint, it could indicate an AS. If it's the entire joint, it could be an EX. And if there is no pain, but it's a deep inguinal pain, then it could indicate an IN. Alright, for the last part of this video, we're going to do the motion palpation. I'm going to start with the occiput. So first we're going to do lateral tilt. I'm going to contact his mastoid and C1 TVPs. We're going to laterally tilt to the right and to the left. If it doesn't laterally tilt, if you don't feel the wedge close down, that means that occiput is lateral to that side. Next we're going to do a PA glide. So it's the same contacts, and I'm going to turn and push forward with his head. I should be feeling for a springy in-play. Lack of that springy in-play is going to indicate a PS occiput on the side that I'm testing. Now we're going to do an AP. I'm going to contact my hypothenar over his supraorbital ridge. We're going to isolate and then pull A to P. Switch sides. I'm still feeling for springy in-play. Lack of this would also indicate an AS occiput on the side that I'm testing. Now I'm going to do a posterior and anterior rotation component. So I'm contacting mastoid TVPs, and I'm going to rotate the patient's head away from my contact. I should feel the mastoid move toward me, and if I don't, it means that it's posterior side of the occiput. Okay, for the next part of this evaluation, we're going to assess the atlas. We're going to start with lateral tilting. I'm going to be on the C1, C2 TVPs. We're going to tilt the head to the right, to the left. The TVPs on the side of lateral tilt, they should close down. If they don't, it means that the atlas will be lateral to that side. Next, I'm going to do posterior and anterior movement. So I'm going to contact the posterior arch and the TVPs of the atlas. I'm going to rotate the patient's face away from my contact side, and I'm going to push P to A. If there's restriction here, this is going to indicate a posterior side of the atlas. So now I'm going to have you stand up. Alright, and tuck your chin and lift your head, move it a couple times, and then relax it. Okay, so if the chin is high, it's going to indicate an AS, and if the chin is low, it's going to indicate an AI. Alright, for the next portion, we're going to do the cervical component. I'm going to check for posteriority first. I'm going to have my fingers in between the spinous processes. We're going to flex the head forward. I should feel the spinuses separate. If there's no separation, it means that the segment is posterior above my contact. Now we're going to check for rotation. I'm going to use the same contact. I'm going to rotate his head to the left and to the right. I should feel the spinuses separate. If not, it means that his nose is pointing toward the side of restriction. Now we're going to do the lateral wedging. We're going to laterally flex his head to the right and left, and I should feel the spine curve. If the spine feels flat or the segments feel stacked, this is going to indicate an open wedge on that side. Alright, for the next portion, we're going to do the cervical component. I'm going to check for posteriority first. I'm going to have my fingers in between the spinous processes. We're going to flex the head forward. I should feel the spinuses separate. If there's no separation, it means that the segment is posterior above my contact. Now we're going to check for rotation. I'm going to use the same contact. I'm going to rotate his head to the left and to the right. I should feel the spinuses separate. If not, it means that his nose is pointing toward the side of restriction. Now we're going to do the lateral wedging. We're going to laterally flex his head to the right and left, and I should feel the spine curve. If the spine feels flat or the segments feel stacked, this is going to indicate an open wedge on that side. Alright, for the last part of this video, we're going to do the SI joints. So I'm going to put my index finger on his PSIS and the fifth on his sacrum. I'm going to rotate his ipsilateral shoulder back. I should feel movement, and if not, that means there's a subluxation problem. Now we're going to put both thumbs on PSIs, and I'm going to ask the patient to bend forward. The side that moves up indicates a subluxation. If it feels wobbly, that's going to indicate a sacrum problem. Alright, now to determine if it's a PI or an AS, we're going to observe the gluteal margin. Okay, and a high glute is going to indicate an AS, and a low glute is going to indicate a PI. Now we're going to do the mechanical part, which is a high knee test. So I'm going to place both thumbs, or left thumb on his PSIS. My other thumb's going to be on the center of the sacrum. So I'm going to ask the patient, can you raise your left leg? My thumb should move posterior and inferior. If it does not, that's going to indicate an AS ilium. I'm going to ask the patient to raise your other leg. If my thumb should move just inferior. If it does not, that's going to indicate a PI ilium on the involved side. Alright, for the last part, we're going to see if it's an EX or an IN. So the first thing I'm going to do is observe the glute. If it's a narrow glute, that would indicate an EX, and if it was a wide glute, it would indicate an IN. So now for the mechanical part, can you please sit down? Alright, I'm going to put my finger on his PSIS. I'm going to put the other hand on his knee. So we're going to rotate his knee medially, and I should feel his PSIS open away from the sacrum. If it does not, it's going to indicate an IN ilium. We're going to have him move his knee laterally. I should feel the PSIS close down on the sacrum, and if it does not, it's going to indicate an EX ilium.